Welcome friends to another episode of Wesley's Food Den. Today I'm going to be making a chicken biryani. Now there's a lot of fear when it comes to chicken biryani or any biryani. However, I hope that my demonstration today takes out all the fear for making a good wholesome pot of biryani for your family. For this, you're going to be needing your biryani spice. Biryani spice is made up of 1 aniseed, a teaspoon of fennel, a teaspoon of whole coriander seeds, a few black pepper, and half a teaspoon of cumin. To this, I will be adding 3 cinnamon stick and a few bay leaf and 3 pods of whole green elachi or cardamom. Now, the secret of spices is that you need to release their potency by heating it. So I will be dry roasting this in my frying pan. Now you have to be very careful with spices because you don't want it to burn, otherwise it will not give the desired effect. Now you would know when it is ready, when it is dry roasted, when you will smell the aroma releasing. So you're just going to dry roast this for a few minutes. Whilst that is dry roasting, I am going to get the rest of my dish ready. You're going to be needing 1 kilo of fresh chicken. You are going to be needing 2 chopped onions, which I am going to fry, 2 teaspoons of ginger garlic paste, some green chillies and some curry leaf, 1 cup fresh yogurt, a teaspoon of turmeric, 2 teaspoons of Kashmiri chili powder, 1 teaspoon of dhania jeera powder, and 2 teaspoons of chili powder. Also, half a cup of canned tomato. Now these are the elements just to prepare the marinade. Now my spices are beginning to roast and I can smell the aroma being released. So I am going to turn this off and I am going to leave it aside just to cool for a few minutes. Whilst this is happening, I will be marinating my chicken. Now to this, I will be putting in 1 cup of yogurt. Now yogurt acts as a food tenderizer and it also helps to create the much moisture that is needed in the dish. 2 teaspoons of ginger garlic paste, a teaspoon of turmeric, two teaspoons of red chili powder, 1 teaspoon of dhania jeera, and 2 teaspoons of Kashmiri chili powder. Also, I'll be putting in my curry leaves and my 2 green chillies. I am going to give this a stir. Now to this, I will be putting in a pinch of salt for taste. I am going to leave this aside for a few minutes whilst I grind my whole spice. I am now going to cook my onions. I am going to fry them in a little bit of deep oil. I will be frying it in a 1/4 cup of oil. You need to fry this until golden brown. Now my onions have been frying for about 7 minutes, and I don't want it to get completely browned because this is going to be used to make the curry for the biryani. Now I have transferred my chicken marinade into a pot, and I am going to transfer the cooked onions with the oil into the pot. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this is all the oil that you're going to need. You won't need any more oil. And I am going to cook this on medium heat, and it should take at least an hour for the chicken to be cooked, because this is not your regular soft cooking chicken, but it's quite a tough chicken and would need to cook for at least an hour and 20 minutes before we put it into the oven to steam. Whilst this is cooking, I will be putting my potatoes to fry as well and my rice to boil. So we are gonna cook this on medium heat for about an hour. You're going to need to check this on a regular basis just so it doesn't catch at the bottom. The curry for the biryani has now been cooking for 1 hour 20 minutes. Whilst that was cooking, I did cook some rice. I cooked 2 cups of basmati rice, and generally basmati rice cooks between 12 to 15 minutes, and I have cooked this for 10 minutes because you don't want it completely cooked. I only want it about 75% cooked, because when you put it to steam, you don't want it to become too soft and soggy. Now, to complete the dish, I am frying some onions, and I have my onions frying. Now these onions need to be crispy because I will top the biryani with it. I've also warmed a 1/4 cup of milk, and to this I've added a few strands of saffron. Now you need warm milk to release the flavor and the fragrance from the saffron. I will let this sit for about 10 minutes. I have the last step to make our biryani, and this is where everything comes together. I have my boiled rice, I have my curry, I have my crispy onions, I have roasted potatoes, I have my saffron infused milk, and I have 2 teaspoons of butter ghee. Now, this is very simple. I am going to layer this. So I will be putting a thin layer of rice at the bottom. To this, I will be adding some of my curry. Now you don't want to add all the curry at one go because it is layered. And just a few potatoes. I will repeat the step. Now it's important not to have too much of gravy in your curry, otherwise it will make the rice go soggy. So it's getting the right kind of balance. So I do have extra gravy, which I am not going to be putting it into our curry, into our biryani. I'm just going to top it off with the remainder of the potatoes. And now the remainder of the rice. Now this is sufficient for a family of 4, and if you're making it for a larger quantity of people, you can increase the quantities that I used. Now I will be just dotting my butter ghee around. Now butter ghee, apart from the flavor and the fragrance, it does prevent the biryani from drying out. I am now going to put my onions over. Just want to divide this equally around the rice. And for the final step, my saffron milk. Now I am going to be putting this in the oven to cook for about 40 minutes on 160 to 180 degrees, depending on your oven. And this is the reason why the rice is only half cooked, so it doesn't so when you do put it to steam, you need the biryani to steam so the flavors release and the flavors infuse together with the rice. And also you don't want a very dry dish as well. So there's the finished product that will be going into the oven for about 40 minutes. I will be covering it with aluminum foil so it retains the moisture.